Hey everybody, in this video I'm going to show you how you can save a lot of time by connecting our Utopian Labs agents and making them work for you in your Pipedrive CRM system. And as you can see here, I am in at portal.utopianlabs.ai, so in our Utopian Labs portal, and I created an account. So if you are on YouTube right now, I recommend going to portal.utopianlabs.ai, creating an account, and also connecting a payment method in order to get started. After that, you can go to the templates page like I am right now and select the template that you want. In this case, I am going to qualify leads that are coming into my Pipedrive system and then creating deals for them if they are qualified. So in order to get started, I'm going to click on the button on the top right, and then I'm going to go to Zapier. Zapier is a really handy platform. If you don't have an account yet, I recommend signing up. You can get started for free. And what we're going to do is we're going to make an automation trigger when a new lead is created in Pipedrive. So this can, for example, be a website visitor that fills out your form on your website in order to get in contact with you. And the thing that we're going to solve is that anyone can really sign up and fill out that form, and you don't really know whether that person is worth your time. And if you would like to know whether that person is worth your time, you would usually go and do research into that company or person, check out their website, maybe Google a bit about them and figure out whether it's within your criteria. Maybe also find out whether they have a certain team, a sales team, for example, or an engineering team. And this is all stuff that our Utopian Labs agents can do for you in the background without you having to do any work. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to basically have an agent do research into someone and then decide whether it's the right fit or not. So as you can see, a new lead is triggered, and then we're going to find the corresponding organization of the lead and also the corresponding person. And then we're going to qualify the lead, and only if the lead is qualified, we're going to create the deal. So I'm going to try out this template. And again, this is one of the many templates that we have for Pipedrive. So this is just an example that I'm going to show you in order to get started. Afterwards, you can basically have any trigger and any action then at the end. So a new lead is created here, as you can see, or basically this is the trigger that is already selected. And I'm going to choose a Pipedrive account right here. So I'm going to choose this one, which is a Pipedrive account that is basically empty, that I just created for this purpose, for this video. And then we're going to continue. And we're going to test the trigger. So what Zapier is going to try to do now is that it's going to try to find a lead in my Pipedrive. But you're going to see that it will likely fail because I don't have any leads in Pipedrive yet. So we're going to have to basically create a lead in Pipedrive after we see that this doesn't work. So this does take a while. I think I'm going to pause the video until this is finished. Actually, this seems to be loading for a long time. So what I'm going to do is, whilst we're waiting for this, I'm actually going to go ahead to Pipedrive and or basically log into my account. And then we're going to go to leads. So we're going to create our first lead. Maybe by the time this stops loading, it finds the lead that we just created. So I have no leads in here yet. So we're going to create a new lead. You might know the guy. I'm just going to create a person here for Elon Musk. And then also I'm going to create an organization. SpaceX, right? You might know the company as well. Then I'm going to add an email. I have no idea what his email is, but I'm just going to do a wild guess. And then I think he's the CEO. I don't think he has LinkedIn. Let's find out. Elon Musk LinkedIn. Huh. I don't know if that's him, but let's pretend it is. So we're going to go to Pipedrive. Here it was. And then we're going to add the website spacex.com. Let's add HTTPS just to make sure. And then we have our first lead. So let's go back to Zapier And it indeed said that it didn't find any leads. So now let's try again. Let's see. There you go. It actually did find Elon Musk, it seems. Let me see. There you go, Elon Musk. And it found the email address as well. Great. So that looks good. Then we want to continue with that record. And then afterwards, we're going to go to the find organization step. So this is where we're going to get, in this case, SpaceX, to get all of the data from there. So what we're going to want to do here is we're going to actually we're going to click on this button, remove extra fields, because these are the fields that we selected in order to create the Zapier template. And we actually searched by ID here and then found the organization by its ID. But different Pipedrive accounts have different setups. And actually the current Pipedrive account that I made has a different field called ID than the Pipedrive account with which we made the template. So I'm going to just remove the extra fields here, and we're going to just want to refresh this to start from scratch. And then here we're going to want to say that we want to basically search the organization by the ID that we got from the lead. And Zapier is very slow in this, so this is going to take a little while. But I'm hoping for, and what is going to happen, is that it's going to suggest the field ID here somewhere that we can select from the organization, and then the value of the ID should basically be the ID that we got from the new lead in Pipedrive. So in here, you can see that we received an organization ID of 8 in this case. And so that's what we're going to select for this one. And then here, there you go, it loaded everything. We're going to say ID. And it should be an exact match. And then we're going to continue. Now we're going to test this step as well. And I hope that this will be a bit faster than the other steps. Oh, there you go. So it did find SpaceX, as you can see here, with the website and everything. So then we're going to continue. And then here we're going to find the person. Same thing here. So we just want to remove these extra fields right here. And we're going to want to refresh. And then here Pipedrive already loaded the right fields, luckily. And the ID should in this case be, if you go to new lead in Pipedrive, it should be the person ID. And that's what we want to find. We want to find an exact match. And then again, we're going to continue and we're going to test this step. It seems that worked. So it seems like we received Elon Musk indeed. Perfect. So then we're going to continue. And now we're going to go to the awesome stuff, of course, the Utopian Labs stuff. And I already have a Utopian Labs account. In case you don't, what you can do is you can connect a new account. And then what you want to do is basically go here to the Utopian Labs portal, go to API keys, create a new API key, and copy it into that page. And that's basically how you connect an account from Utopian Labs. But we actually want to choose this one. And then we're going to continue. If Zapier lets us. I have to say that oftentimes there are bugs from Zapier that make it a little difficult to use it, but we can also click on this. So now here, as you can see, we are selecting the qualification agent. What we can also do is qualification agent light. Now, this decision is basically up to you, but the qualification agent has a lot more sources available to check different things that you want to know. So for example, the qualification agent light can do basic research, checking websites, searching for news, finding information about a person, for example. The qualification agent, the regular one, can also look into team sizes and team structures. It can basically check annual reports even. It can read all of that. It can do a lot more basically than the light agent. And therefore, it is a bit more expensive than a light agent. But if you go for anything at least remotely advanced that are not like basic requirements about the company or about the person, I would choose for the qualification agent. If it's just basic requirements and filters, then let's go for the qualification agent light. In this case, I'm just going to leave it like this. And then I am going to select here from my organization data, the website, because this is something that we require, the website, in order to do the research. So I'm just going to find the website in here, which is spacex.com. Now, it is possible that you don't have the website in Pipedrive. And in that case, what you can do is you can add an extra step here. And what we're going to do is we're going to basically get the website from the email address. So in this case, as you saw, I added elon@spacex.com, right? And we basically want to make sure that we can format the text. So we're going to click on Formatter and Formatter by Zapier. We're going to basically get process some text, and then what we're going to do is we're going to split text, as you can see here. And the input text would be the person email, so the person's email. And then the separator will be the @ and then we're going to get basically the second part of it. So then in this case, it will be spacex.com. And so we're going to test it to see what comes out of that. And it would indeed be spacex.com. So in case you don't have the website in your Pipedrive, you can also do that. So you can basically get the output of this in this case, right? It doesn't matter to me. I'm just going to put it back to the original one. If you have some sort of description of the company that you're researching, feel free to put it in here. It saves the research agent a bit of time and therefore you money. But if you don't have it, no problem. It will figure out what it does, what the company does. Then we're going to go for the LinkedIn profile URL. And let me see. So that looks like the right value. And so this was Zapier's AI that basically suggested it. But if you need to get it yourself, you go to find person, and then to the LinkedIn URL should be here. But only if you have that field added to Pipedrive. I'm going to go into that a bit more in a bit. Then the lead job title. That's also a custom field that I added myself to this Pipedrive. I will show you how to do that. It's job title. There you go. Then max research steps is also an important one, but you can also leave it blank if you want to. So this is actually like the agent does research in order to see whether this lead is the right lead for you or not, right? You can basically constrain the agent to a certain amount of steps that it takes in order to find the answer. The only reason that you would want to do that is because you want to save money. Basically, you want to make sure that you don't spend more than a certain amount per lead that's coming in. By default, if you don't fill out any value, it's 5. So 5 steps is then the max. On average, we see that generally the agent takes about 3 research steps to fulfill the average task, basically. So then I'm going to keep this blank, and I'm going to go to context, because this is a really important one too. So here in the context, you basically can tell the agent anything that you want. So you can give it context about what a qualified lead is for you, right, for your business, and what it needs to check as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, for us, a qualified lead is if the company has at least 10 engineers and also has a marketing department. There should be recent news and engineering challenges coming up that we can help with. So that is basically an example of what you can do. Now, of course, this is going to do research as Utopian Labs, right? So it's going to try to reason from our company based on my description and based on what Utopian Labs does, why this is a qualified lead, and decide based on that. We can also say anything else. I mean, for Utopian Labs, it honestly would make a bit more sense to say something like, hey, if they have a sales team, for example, that's growing, or just hired, I don't know, the VP of RevOps or something like that, right? But just for an example, I'm going to do this. Use memory as the last field. That is basically handy in case you want to do multiple, if you want to run multiple agents one after another. Because if you have memory turned off, that means that every single step, every single agent that you run is going to start over new. So even if we just research SpaceX with by qualifying a lead, and afterwards you want to check something else with a different agent, then it's going to basically not know anything about SpaceX anymore the time it starts for the second time. Right. So if I, for example, would say here after qualifying the lead, I would also want to, categorize the lead or something like that. Then if I have memory turned off for both of them, I would basically start from scratch. But if I have memory turned on, it would kind of keep the research and it would continue with that knowledge. And that is basically, in most cases, I would say what you should do. Also, by default, if you don't select any value, it is true because it is set to true. Basically, it's turned on because it's just the most handy in this case. So we're going to continue, and then we're going to test a step. This is not going to actually run an agent yet. It's just going to give some data back, some random data back in the right format. So the data that you would get back is a conclusion, which is basically the entire research report. So it's going to do tons of research, of course, into the lead, and then it's going to give you back a research conclusion. Then also it's going to give you a qualification score, which is low, medium, or high, all in lowercase letters, which is the decision of the qualification agent. And it's also going to explain its reasoning for making that decision. So qualification reason. And now we're going to continue. And basically this step here is to filter out all of the non-qualified leads. So here the qualification score needs to match high in order to continue the step. So we're going to test this, and it seems that it was high. So there you go. Then lastly, we're going to create a deal if the lead is qualified. So we're going to continue here. What we're going to say here is that the status should be open, so it should be a new deal, right? And the stage of the deal, we're going to say in qualified, because that's what we did. And the pipeline should be this. I'm going to assign myself as the owner in this case. And you can add anything here for value or something like that. It doesn't really matter that much, but that basically looks good. And now we can test it. And I think it's going to add the actual deal to my Pipedrive. So let's check out whether that actually worked. And there you go. So it added SpaceX as the deal because it was a qualified lead. Now you can do all kinds of stuff other than that, other than this, right? So we just have created the deal, but we can also, for example, then add a note, right? So for example, if we want to know why this lead was really qualified, then we can say, okay, we want to add an extra step, and we want to create a note. And then the content of that note should be, for example, the qualification reason. And we want to then say also like the research report on the lead. We also want to log. So that's the research report here. Then we want to maybe select the value for the deal. So in this case, we would want to say here, right? And then we would pin the note to the deal, et cetera, et cetera. So you can do all kinds of stuff still with the data in order to make sure that everything is logged nicely in your Pipedrive. But I hope that this got to give you a good idea of what you could do. Now, two things I want to still cover. One of them is creating custom fields in Pipedrive. I already did have custom fields like website, job title, a LinkedIn URL. These are generally fields that don't come standard with the Pipedrive if you create a new account. And they are really handy to have. They're not required except for a website, but you can, as you saw, also get it from the email address. And the second thing is I also want to go over quickly what the other the other agents can do for you other than just qualifying a lead. So in order to go to custom fields, as you can see here, when I create a new lead, I already have a bunch of other fields on the right side here. So these two here were already there by default. And these ones here, I created myself. So job title, LinkedIn URL, and website. And these two here belong to the person. This one belongs to the organization. So in order, like how you can do that is if you go to here, to the company settings, and then click on data fields. Then you can select here whether it should be the lead deal or whether you want to add the field to the person or organization. And in this case, I want to add it to the organization. I'm just going to add a random field, right? Random field. And I can select any type. So for example, for the LinkedIn URL, job title, etc., I just chose text, but you can also do multiple options, etc. So we're going to choose text here. And then we actually want to make sure that when we create a new lead, that we also see that field and we can add data to it. So in this case, if we add an organization or if we add a lead or deal, then we want to have this field show up and we want to make it required. And so now we're going to save. By the way, I did not make the website required. Maybe I should have. And now Pipedrive is a bit weird here because now if I click on here on add new lead, you see that it doesn't show up yet here in this on the right side, but you have to really hard refresh in order for it to show up. And sometimes it even takes a while, as you can see. Random field is there right now, so it can take a little while, but that's now there, and I probably have to fill it out if I random company is probably going to be required, as you can see here. There you go. So that's number one. Number two is if we go back to Zapier, is we can also do a bunch of other stuff for you. So there's other agents as well than just qualification agent. The first one, categorizing a lead. That is actually an agent that can basically add a label to an organization or a person. So just to show you what it can do is if you go here to configuring, you can basically make up yourself different classifications or different categories of leads. So let's say, for example, that one salesperson in your team does SaaS leads and one salesperson does agencies, right? Then what you can do here is you can make it classify the lead between SaaS and agency. And then here you can add some description of what a SaaS or an agency is. In this case, it's pretty clear, so it knows. But you can even have more advanced qualifications or classifications like I want to divide leads up between John and between, I don't know, Sarah or something. And you can say John, SaaS leads within the Netherlands or Benelux region, and Sarah does agencies in the Bay Area, right? So that's all possible. And then afterwards, it will basically, the output of this will be the classification. So it will be either John or it will be Sarah with also an explanation. That's pretty handy, I would say. Then we're going to delete this, and we're going to again go to other steps. Here we can also just research a lead, so we can just do the research and add it as a note or anything else to the person and organization, so that you have always the full picture of your leads and your contacts. Timing is also really cool because you can basically make an agent check. Okay, this is a qualified lead, sure, but is right now the right timing to actually reach out? That is what the timing agent can do. And writing a sequence of emails speaks for itself, I guess, and writing an email as well. Basically, if you want to reach out to this person, then you can also make it write an email based on the research that it does. So it's really powerful. All right, I hope this was useful. If you have any questions, please reach out to us. Our email address is support@utopianlabs.ai. And, happy automating. Bye-bye.